From a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
Welcome to About Face Radio, the From the Ashes show. I am One Shot Seth, sitting next to my hetero life mate, Robert Shenanigans Williams. Just enjoying our amazing new intro video.
Phil, I can't thank you enough, man. That thing is so awesome. My favorite part is the Price is Right music.
It's pretty great.
Or is it like I think it's the Price is Right. It might be
It's
like
gotta be
American.
Price is Right.
It's got to be.
I think so.
Whatever it is, it's awesome. Did you get a chance to tune into the PDB show today?
No, I did not.
For Mental Health Monday. He was talking about professional victims. One of these days, you and Phil are going to meet, and it's going to be like an explosion of worlds. It's going to be so perfect. I can't wait for you guys to meet each other face to face, eyeball to eyeball. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to From the Ashes Radio. I'm so glad you're here. So we got a great show tonight. We have one of my favorite people on the planet, the Bearded Monkey. If you have not listened to the Bearded Monkey podcast, you are absolutely not going to be disappointed. It's going to be a good time. So yeah. Look. Oh, I should probably comments. Sorry about that. I need to get that
Step
started.
up.
I do. I was too busy laughing at the new intro that I. Yeah. Hey, so how was your weekend?
Mine was different than usual. How was yours?
It was good. It was good. That was tough. Let's just leave it there.
All right. So for the folks out there listening, give you some something to look forward to. We had our Q1 and yearly planning business meeting for About Face Radio, in which our good friend Nick basically super glued my butt into a seat in a conference room for 9 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, something like that.
It felt like 12.
It's hard for me to sit for 1 hour and do a show. I don't sit still very well. Well, actually, I don't sit still when we do a show. To stay in one place for that long. So it was challenging. We got some really cool stuff to look forward to for the nonprofit. Rob, anything to add on that?
I have never seen you so exhausted. I mean, you were smoked when that was over.
Done.
It was awesome.
Very, very done.
Well, I mean, this is the opposite of what we do. And to sit in a room for 8 hours building the future of About Face Radio and all that stuff, I'm super glad that we did it. But man, that was, you looked wrecked towards the end of the day.
Wrecked. The last hour, I kept like getting up and getting the stuff together to like take off, and Nick would be like, "Sit." I'm like, "Oh."
Feels like, did we just become best friends?
Killing me, Smalls. Anyway, so
I mean, it was good. It
was great.
It has to happen in order for the organization to grow and to give our donors what they deserve. You know, these people invest their money in us, and by rights, we need to give them what they have paid for. So yeah. Which, by the way, thank you if you have donated to About Face Radio. We are a registered 901c3. Please, by all means, feel free to look us up on Venmo and PayPal. Feel free to throw $1 in there, 50 cents, whatever you got. We would appreciate your support. We have set some lofty goals for 2023 as far as bringing on new DJs. Equipment is expensive. Just before the show, I was driving out here and to the super secret location, and my buddy Steve Valancourt calls. So Steve was my paramedic preceptor. He was the guy I worked with when I was going through paramedic school, which paramedic school, it sucks. It's horrible.
Yeah,
it used to be, it is very hard. It used to be a 2-year program. Now it's a 6-month program. You do all this crap online. So I was horribly broke. I was living with Sandy and 3 other friends in an apartment that was meant for 2 people above an auto garage. I had no money. And so Steve is the guy that would like we'd be pulling through Taco Bell halfway through the day. He was like, "Oh, you gonna get anything?" I'm like, "No, I'm okay." And that dude would get a box of 24 tacos from Taco Bell, eat one of them, and hand me the rest. And I would like house the rest, and I bring them home, and like all my roommates were like, "Oh God, food!" You know, it was awesome. But yeah, and so he calls me up as we're out here, and he's like, "Hey man, I love you to pieces, but I need you to know something." And I'm like, "Okay, what's up, man? Hit me with what you got." And I thought he was gonna be like, "You're fat." Hey, I know that. Instead, he goes, "Your audio sucks," and I'm like, Yes, I'm aware of that. We are working on it. We just this weekend got the cables to make our audio better. We have the mixer now, and now we're just waiting. We'll get all of this connected and put together, and our audio will get a whole lot better. So,
Better. We didn't say great.
We didn't say great.
Better.
We're spending $20 at a pop here, folks. We're getting this done. So, but yeah.
I'm really excited. So, we talked about, trying to just consistently be improving on our show.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for those of you out there, we have an outlined schedule again.
We do.
It is that time.
Hit me with what you got. I know you're super excited about this.
I am.
So
we're actually 3 minutes late. Imagine that. So we're gonna from 1805 to 1810. We're Mountain Standard Time. We are going to do the Private Carl moment. Okay. So Private Carl isn't necessarily going to always be a private. It's not going to be just a private story. It's just going to be one of those amazing stories in military news. Right. And so next week is you. This week I got one.
All right.
So
I like this. This is going to be my new favorite bit, making fun of stupid people in the military.
From military.com. I found this all over the place, but there's, for those of you who don't know, California has a lot of issues. California,
the land of fruit and nuts.
Fruit and nuts. Street whack jobs. So the California National Guard has been plagued with lots of issues for a while now, but the latest this week is Brigadier General Jeffrey Magram will be involuntarily transferred, aka
fired.
Because he was having his subordinates do things outside of the wheelhouse of what they were supposed to be doing. No, they were on their knees.
I was just going to say,
I know that's
teeth, no teeth, eye contact, no eye contact.
Not sexual favors.
Oh, all right.
He was having them do his online courses.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
He was having them run personal errands for him, drive him around. Like, we're talking like off duty. He was to the point where, this is my favorite one, he was having his soldiers, well, it's the Air Guard, so.
The comments are awesome.
I don't know if we call them
Airmen gotta drive Miss Daisy.
So he was actually having subordinates take his mother.
That's exactly what the comment just said.
They were driving his mother around grocery shopping. I mean,
all right. So, what is the worst thing you ever made a private do?
We're on. No, this is recorded.
It's that kind of day, huh?
Oh man, this is one I got investigated for soldier abuse for this one. But I was a rear detachment commander at one point, in which I was in charge of anywhere between 100. I think my peak was 117 soldiers.
Dude, that's first sergeant position.
No in between rank, other leadership, and you know what they were, right? Because I was rear D.
So all the slugs that nobody else wants.
So it's med boards, getting fucking court-martialed,
my ankle
injured
hurts.
from being downrange. My unit was downrange. Oh, I mean, just turd burglars, right? So, I went to do a check in the barracks, and as I climbed the stairs and opened the door, a beer bottle flew right in front of my face and exploded on the wall. And I turned, and it was the wildest party, which says a lot, I had ever seen in the barracks. I mean, it was nuts.
People will never grasp the concept of barracks parties.
No, they don't.
Until you've experienced
it. And I'm like, oh my God. And there was a CQ. And this was going down. And so I yelled at a couple of guys. They act like they didn't even know me. And I was like, I got something for you.
I'll see you Monday morning.
Walk back. No. Oh, hell no. I never let stuff slide. So got on the phone, called a few of my NCO buddies, and I was like, "Hey,
Oh.
now, and you want to see a hallway get cleared, bro? We cleared it.
Brought the rain, huh?
Brought the rain. And they low crawled up and down 10 flights of stairs, cement stairs, for 3 or 4 hours, and then we made them move 100% of all items out of the barracks into the basketball court, clean the rooms. Anyway, so they're in formation, and senior.
Everybody's sober now because we've sweat the alcohol out of them.
Oh yeah. Senior leadership for another unit was driving by and was like, "Why are they in formation? The sun's not even up." And I'm out there screaming. They're doing,
tossing in cough drops because
they're
you're your
doing,
voice.
they're doing front back goes, and then my phone rang and it was, do you have soldiers right now? I'm like, yeah, I showed up yesterday evening, and they're like, yesterday evening? It's like 5 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? I'm like, well, I showed up and there's a party and I'm fixing the situation. Or you've had them up since yesterday evening? I was like, yeah, since like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. They're soldiers. So anyway, a few of them made some.
Was everybody in there infantry? Was it infantry barracks or
it was
just all the slugs?
No, it was infantry barracks. So anyway, needless to say, I was at IG later that week and standing in front of a division sergeant major at one point. Division sergeant major was like, "Hey, I kind of like what you did. Move on." Like it was, I ended up getting in no trouble, but it was that was a wild one.
We had a new soldier. I mean, we're medics, so none of our stories are going to come close to what goes on in the infantry barracks. But same thing. We had a soldier show up to work intoxicated one day, and I had this NCO I worked with. His name was Kirk, K-I-R-K. I don't remember what his last name was, but started with a B. Whatever, doesn't matter. And he's like, "Hey, Sergeant Williams, I got this, no problem." He told the kid, "You go put on your PTs." He's like, "We're going to the MP station. We're going to give you the breathalyzer." He's like, "Okay." Puts on his PTs, and he's like, "All right, you want to take my car?" He's like, "Oh, no. While hammered, he ran this kid to the MP station, which was probably a good 5 miles or so in Baumholder, Germany, which is like all hills and whatnot. And so the kid had to stop and puke probably 5 or 6 times. When I'm in a car behind them, like traveling behind him, make sure the kid doesn't die or whatnot. And the kid stopped and puke like 5 or 6 times. By the time he gets to the MP station, the kid blows in the device and whatnot. Stone cold sober. And I'm like, you understand that NCO just saved your career by having you run down here, right?
I will tell you this, I have never in my infantry career seen somebody sent to get a breathalyzer.
Well, yeah, because you take care of your own. Exactly.
No, that's it. And
I'm going to front back go you until you're sober.
Yeah. I swear if somebody like reeked of alcohol was, in morning formation, they're a little wobbly. It's just like, oh, our 5 mile run is now a 10 mile run.
Exactly.
That's it. And as long as you don't fall out, yeah, it's okay.
You can throw up. You can throw up while you're running, dude.
So you become a strong alcoholic, not a weak alcoholic. Right? That's breeding the world's strongest alcoholic.
Well, and if we look back on it now, all we did was encourage them. Hey, I know I can drink till 4:30 in the morning because I'm going to go running later. Hey, I'll be sober by work time. All we did was perpetuate the problem. Yeah. But here we are now. Steve Valancourt says, "Do I get production credit now?" Yes, Steve, you absolutely do, man. We will add you. You know what? We're going to double your pay.
I love that.
I think he's Hey, it is that time on the nose.
So, bearded monkey.
Should we bring in the monkey?
I think we should bring in the monkey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourselves ready. So, bring our buddy here, the bearded monkey. What's up, man?
What's cracking? So, okay, video and audio. Is this live right now?
Oh yeah, you are live on multiple platforms. Probably
not bad. Not bad. Hello. How are you?
Hello. Welcome to the show, man. Glad to have you here.
Thank you much. Welcome to my room. Okay, I'm just kind of chilling here, nice and quiet. Daughter's downstairs hanging out with the puppy. So yeah, happy to be on, man.
Well, we are very glad to finally get you on here, man. This has been a work in progress for quite some time. So welcome to the show. Lots of people listening, lots of people excited about this. I don't know if you saw the comments on Facebook that people were making. Some of them were, a lot of support. So, let's start at the beginning. Tell us where Bearded Monkey comes from.
Yeah, because you don't have a beard.
Yeah, and you're
No,
not.
it's hold on, let me get a little closer, a little bit, right? A little gray through here. Nothing too crazy though. So the word on the dirty bird as far as bearded monkey, it boiled down to the fact going through hard times in life. For me, it was big to get the monkey off your back, right? And I thought a bearded monkey was a little bit of a badass, right? And the way my wife did a little design, she put it all together. We talked about different design options for the logo and everything. And honest to God, man, it's nothing bigger than that. And there's one other concept, ultimately the ramp to Noah's Ark, right? If you're going to fight for something in life, fight for something you believe in. And I want you to fight like you were the third monkey on the ramp to Noah's Ark and it's starting to rain. That's ultimately where that originated.
That is such an awesome comment. Yeah. Which is funny because my buddy has a different thought of the bearded monkey. And so, but I like your answer better.
I've heard some pretty hilarious comments. And the name, it is a little bit catchy. Not going to lie. It is catchy. It's different. But I think it stands out in a good way.
Well, hey, do you know how hard it was to tag you on Instagram, man? Do you know how many bearded monkeys there are in the world? But there's only one bearded monkey tactical. So, yeah, it was good times. Tell us what Bearded Monkey is about.
Honest to God, man, it's kind of a work in progress at this point. We were talking actually, I think a couple days ago, and you were asking me about socials and whatnot. And, hey, can I have a couple photos? And honestly, it usually the first part of the year in January, I take a little hiatus from social media. And so I kind of took everything off of my cell phone, took all the socials off. I've been on Facebook in a while, man. But as far as the Instagram goes, that's probably the platform that I'm the busiest on, have the biggest following on. And again, even with that, I'm taking about a 30-day break, man. But it boils down to trying to give people the tools to succeed in life. You're going to see challenges. You're going to have to meet them head on. You're going to have to press on no matter what, man. And I think anybody that's been on planet Earth the last couple of years has had to experience all this bullshit we've had with COVID, with all these Black Lives Matter issues, with all the civil unrest, the political divide that we have, everything that's happened, man. And you've had to truck along. I mean, and it has not been easy. There's been times that I've struggled. I've had to rely on somebody you guys are near and dear to, Adam Roberts. Guy does little jiu-jitsu. I know that. But he and I have really developed a pretty close bond. But Bearded Monkey, more than anything, man, is literally that. It's about getting together as a team, as a family, and making it through all the hard times together because you can't do it by yourself.
I love it, man. That's outstanding stuff. That's really good stuff. And you know, I've listened to a ton of the episodes of your show, and you know, you expect it, you know, to be about one thing, but you're all over the map, man. You're talking about politics, fortitude, all kinds of great stuff for the first responder community, the veteran community, the whole world. Just fellowship and brotherhood and mentorship for men in general. And I agree with you. Our nation has been in a very, very strange spot for the last probably 5 years or so. It's been super tough. And I don't think that's going to be getting any easier anytime soon.
I don't disagree with you, man. It's been a challenge. You know, the profession I'm in, I don't know how, you know, in depth we want to get with that, but so I've been in law enforcement for 18 years and 15 of which in Colorado. I don't mention the department I'm working with right now, but I've been currently employed through the department I'm at now for about 15 years. I'm a field training sergeant. So I'm working with a lot of the new people when they come through, they finish the academy and they do their ride with an FTO during a process and throughout that field training process. So I've kind of been, you know, right when these newbies get on the road, and it is a huge adjustment for them. And I'll tell you that the law enforcement profession, it's been difficult in the sense that things that I typically love, football, you know, whether it's any form of media, radio or sporting events or things like that, the last couple of years, it's eased off a bit, but the last couple of years, it's taken a toll, man. Like I can't tune in the same way that I once did with football or with basketball, because all you're seeing is these cats taking a knee. And it's, I could see where it's a little bit of a knock on the military. I get it, but it's straight up, yo, the cops are doing this, the cops are doing that. And I feel like it's an attack on people that I know and love. And it's been very difficult, man. So I think Bearded Monkey, that's another reason I really started it. I had to have a platform to get some of these frustrations out. So yeah, for me, man, still love the job. There's a ton of benefits to the job, but I think more than anything, we've had to come together now more than we have ever had to do. So,
well, and a lot of that started with that one dude kneeling on the other guy and dying. And that's what I guess sparked the whole thing.
Yep.
You've been in this a very long time, and we have a bunch of mutual friends in the business.
Yeah,
do you think the last few years has exposed and gotten rid of some of those bad actors in your career field?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing I can't say enough, man, and I hope the general public understands that nobody gets more pissed off when a cop makes a mistake than other decent cops. So when something happens and something stands out, blows my mind, and those parties should not be in this profession. It's one of those professions that you all know from the military. You're making those split-second decisions. You don't have that benefit of hindsight, 2020 and the vision like that. You have to make that decision right now. I think that officers now more than ever need to understand every little thing that we do is front and center in the national spotlight, whether it maybe not be our body camera, maybe it's somebody with a cell phone. Every little thing we do, man, we have to understand that people are watching, people are listening, and you have to document things so much better than you once did before because it's paramount, man. I mean, point in case, like you just said, I don't know if you're talking names, but the George Floyd incident, I mean, that changed our profession forever. Just like Rodney King, back in the 90s, it changed the profession. And whichever way you look at that, the video, did he murder him? I don't know, man. I don't know their training, their tactics, whatever. He was convicted, obviously, Chauvin. And I think that regardless, whatever way you look at it, it didn't look good. And I think there's certain things that you can do to kind of alleviate that. So, yeah, it's definitely brought that front and center.
So now I want to flip that script in the exact same way.
Yeah.
Dude, what is the deal with our public these days? What is the deal with the people on our streets?
Well, I think that, again, there is support. Not to say that people don't support law enforcement. They do, and we do hear it. I happen to work in one of the areas that's a little busier.
Well worded. Worded. Way to put
It's a little busier than, let's say like Douglas County or Parker or something like that. So where I'm at, the violence, it's just blown up, man. And because of some of the legislation that has recently been passed and put into place, not making excuses or anything like that, but a lot of these things that have occurred have made it very difficult to do our job like it was once done. And so again, I'm trying to be as PC as I can. I mean, I understand it's made it very challenging. And so when people that have zero experience are trying to tell police, oh, this is what you should do and this is what you should do, it doesn't work that way, man. And people need to also understand we are not JCPenney sales clerks. We are not Burger King, have it your way. We're dealing with people typically on their worst day. And when they're on their worst day, they might be violent. They might be in a mental health crisis, whatever that might be. And a lot of times we're not able to just dictate that outcome. So we're reacting to what they're doing or they're choosing to do. And again, a lot of times that can result in a violent encounter. And it sucks, but it's the reality of the job, period. Just is what it is. So I think the problem that we're kind of having is delivering that message. So you have the political realm, the politics of everything, and they're saying, oh, look, now we eliminated the ability for these officers to utilize a choke, right? As they use that term choke. Oh, so now nobody's going to, die or potentially, right? It's a carotid hold, right? But they call it a choke. And so when they call it a choke, they're concerned, oh, police are hurting these poor people or whatever. And it's resulted in a lot of negative press, man, and it's made it more difficult. So I think that really getting that message across and educating the public, it is so important. And when you have opportunities to interact with the public, do so in a manner that is educational in that manner.
You know what? That choke one really bothers me because and here's the reason why, is you know this, I do this thing called jiu-jitsu. Been doing it for 22 years.
You got a few reps there.
I got a few chokes. Okay.
I've been the recipient of a few.
Why are people just dying every day? Why aren't they just dying on jiu-jitsu mats all the time from this carotid sort of control?
You tell me. I'm telling you,
maybe that's individuals on the mat aren't hopped up on all sorts of illicit things that are already,
and didn't just steal something from a department store and blah 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 blah.
So just
I always in the head.
Drives me nuts because the amount of chokes we have in one single class. Like if that was something that was legitimately going to allow or be the cause of death, jiu-jitsu mats would be riddled with dead bodies.
Amen.
Amen. So.
No, it's right, man. It's that educational aspect of it. And I love the fact that you comment on it because you know more than anybody else. And I think just like you just now said, if somebody is under the influence of something, I don't care what it is, meth, fentanyl, whatever, they're under the influence of something, they're going to have that negative reaction. They get put to sleep or whatever. Maybe they don't wake back up. Maybe their body just doesn't react the same way as somebody who'd be sober, man. I don't know. And yeah, it's truly made our job more difficult. Even in the metro area, we had that case. It was McLean who ended up he died in police custody. But
I worked.
What's that?
I worked as a paramedic in your town for a couple of years.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
Wildly controversial case, right? But even autopsy, well, it wasn't the police, and they make that well known, but it's still not accepted, and that's the problem. People need to take a step back and look at the facts. It's not emotions, man. You need to look at the facts. And I think that's the biggest problem. People don't want to hear facts because it doesn't fit that narrative. And it's made things very difficult.
Emotions are a real thing, but they're not true to the fact of what's going on.
Yes, sir. I totally agree.
They're just out there and everybody's different. But I feel like people are having this impossible or this culture of not accepting reality. Like you can show them a video of a blue car and they're like, no, they told me it was a white car. Never will it be blue. And I'm like, no, I just showed you a picture of it.
Yep.
It's just this acceptance of factual information is crazy how people just blow it off.
It was on the news, that like, hey, this district, they've locked the doors and they're doing this and the other thing. And a crowd tried to burn the building down with officers in the building. And so like, I'm watching this on the news. So I'm standing up and I'm picking up car keys and walking towards the door. And my wife's like, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to go help my friends. And she's like, and you're going to end up arrested. She's like, sit your ass down, call your friends, make sure they're okay. Yes, dear. Thank God that some, people have common sense like my wife. So, people are listening to the show right now. What can we do as listeners to support your profession and what you're doing? I mean, you guys can't even go into a Starbucks anymore because people are scared of cops now. It drives me bananas, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's truly what happens. It has to be one opportunity. Take that opportunity when you encounter an officer, have that good interaction with them. And I think it behooves officers as well to have those positive interactions when possible, right? So it comes down to one contact at a time, man. Spread the word exactly like you guys are doing, the message that you're doing right now. By the way, dude, I love the Juice is Loose shirt. So, I love that, man.
Watch the rest of the show because we'll talk about one of our sponsors and you'll get to see my shorts.
Oh, absolutely. I love it.
Glorious.
But truly, that's it, man. I think that's the best advice. I mean, be that change, right? As cliche as that sounds, but every contact that you have, every opportunity that you have, let it be known. Look, man, yeah, cops make mistakes. We're human, right? We make mistakes. Emotions, just like we touched on, emotions come into play. And when they come into play, I think it behooves every other officer, if you're on a call with somebody and you start to see them get a little upset or a little out of hand, step in. Yo, let me take over. I got it. So there's little things that we can do, little nuances, little ways that we can handle things, especially knowing everything that we do is on camera. Everything we do is recorded. And then later on, it's reviewed by the administration or internal affairs and things like that. It's never fun, right? You don't want to be sitting there in front of the powers to be and saying, you know what? Yeah, looked kind of bad. My bad. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. So try to check each other when you're on a call. But honestly, man, from the civilian side of things, keep doing what you guys are doing, because I promise you it's making a difference for us. I promise.
I love that as soon as cops strapped on body cams, all that it showed was that the public is a bunch of jerk offs.
Dude, some of these body cameras are very entertaining, and we watch them now, and I'm kind of curious why they don't release more, because so many of the body camera footage that I review, especially as a supervisor, I review them. It's just like, if the public saw this, oh my God. They would see exactly what it is we're dealing with, and none of that stuff gets released, man. So it's very frustrating. And a lot of times, initially they said, hey, this is going to be for evidential purposes, if it's in court, et cetera, but it's really not, because a lot of times that stuff gets suppressed and it doesn't even get shown in court. Jury doesn't see it, judge doesn't see it. So it's made things very complicated. I think more than anything, it's like, well, what did this cop say? What did this cop do? Does it look good? Does it look bad? More often than not, man, the footage I'm having to review as a supervisor, we are outstanding performers. So are there mistakes made? Absolutely. But far and away, outstanding performers.
I consistently tell one of our mutual friends that, because I watch a lot of body cam of stuff that happens. I'm like, dude, I don't know how you keep it together, because
I be punching people in the mouth.
No, I'm full execution, because they do not need to waste oxygen anymore.
Get a rope!
Like, oh my God, I'm seriously, like, a lot, not all of the people you guys come in contact with, it just baffles me how they made it through life at all. Clearly they're not making it through well, but and dealing with that, I commend you guys for being able to hold together as well as you do. So
these guys can't even walk into a coffee shop anymore and get a cup of coffee because somebody's going to be offended. They've got a firearm.
Star Fox.
Yeah, exactly.
Drives me to say the other way.
Drives me nuts, man. Nuts. So
anyway, well, we're at this very special time. Bearded Monkey, Mr. Bearded Monkey. This is we're going to give you 2 minutes. We call it your time to shine. If we glossed over anything, if we forgot to ask you something you wanted us to, if you want to tell me about the weather, it is your 2 minutes to do whatever you want to be and say whatever you want within reason. I was actually told in the meeting at Saturday, I have one thing I'm not allowed to do. So anyway, again, we're not on FM or AM radio, so say what you want.
Floor is yours.
Certainly. Again, guys, I cannot thank you enough for inviting me on this. I know this has kind of been a work in progress for a while. Once I get up and running again, again, after the month of January, I will be zinging some more episodes, and I can tell you that they will be entertaining. And again, it's a wide range of topics that I discuss, and anybody's welcome. Truly, you mentioned you listen to a lot of the episodes, and there'll be many more just like it, man. I've had CrossFit Games competitors. I had a roommate that was kind of explaining to me how he knew he was gay as a kid and growing up. So you have a broad range. You got Vietnam vets. You've got, you name it, right? I had my daughter on an episode one time talking about what it's like being a cop's kid. So if you want to be entertained, tune in. It's the Bearded Monkey Podcast. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's on, man, you could probably find it on whatever platform you want to go. But I'll leave you with this. I heard a saying, and it was a guy I really enjoy listening to. His name's Andy Frisella. I don't know if y'all are familiar. Love him.
75, baby.
Yep. He has a saying that personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. And I love that saying. Don't embrace victimhood. Don't sit there and, I have it so bad, and cry and whine like a little bitch. Okay, get up. You're going through some rough times. Get up, dust off. What does Jocko say? Recalibrate and re-engage, period. Attack the things that you want in life because you get one time through. One time. And if you're having a rough time, man, reach out to those that love you, those that care about you. Don't be too proud for that because we're all here, man. We're all in it together. We're a family. Let's make it through together, okay? Hopefully, was that about 2 minutes?
We're roughly.
That was about 2 minutes.
That was 2 minutes, yeah. Cops are taking their lives at an alarming rate, just like veterans are. And we need to end that as well. So, yeah, strong words, man. We love it. Hey, man, thank you so much for being a part of the show. I know this is your family time, and I'm sorry that we're cutting into it.
Not at all.
Hey, you are welcome on the show at any point. Thank you for being here tonight.
I'll get you both on mine if you want.
Of
Hey,
course.
we do. Hey, give your socials one more time so people can find you.
Yeah, so on Instagram, it's going to be at Bearded Monkey Tactical, just like it sounds. I got a curriculum that I'm putting together, some firearm instructions, some things like that. So there's some good things in the works, guys. But yeah, Instagram is where I'm mostly. YouTube a little bit. I got a little following. Bearded Monkey Tactical on YouTube. Couple little videos, nothing big. Mostly Instagram. So, guys, be safe. Thank you again.
No.
You be safe. We're in the super secret location. We don't worry about the things you deal with. Have a good night, brother.
I love that. You take care.
All right, folks. So that was Bearded Monkey Tactical. If you have not heard his show yet, you need to tune in. It's great stuff. It's not just cop stuff. It's all kinds of great information, great conversation. I highly recommend you give his show a listen. We're going to take a quick break because I love the Poo-Pourri commercial, and that'll give everybody a chance to stretch out and go refill your glasses and all that stuff. We'll be back in just a few minutes, all right? There it is.
You're finally back at her place for a little brown chicken brown cow when you get hit with love potion number 2.
Are you okay?
You skip to the loo before that keister kangaroo jumps out of its pouch. Now, what do you do?
Hurry up, come on. Come on, I'm on a date. This isn't happening right now.
You let that badonka-donk honka-honk and strike a match in the hopes you won't strike out. But alas, your chance of date number 2 just went up in flames.
Are you okay?
Do you have insurance? Just
It
wondering.
smells like burnt hair and blue cheese.
I got it.
Are you positive?
Don't worry about it.
Are you sure you're okay? You there?
You drop trow and give it your all like it's a one-shite stand.
I'm gonna be single forever.
You fill the air with fragrance to keep your craps under wraps. But instead you come out smelling like...
Did you spray my perfume? And poop? Not even on my worst day would this be okay. Not even in my most desperate times. I shaved my entire body for this night. Hard no, hard pass. I need you to go. No, not happening, bro. You gotta go. I'm out. Done. Like, Grandma's been dead for 4 years, buddy, and you smell worse than her. That's gonna take a while to leave.
Before your caboose lets loose, you spritz the bowl with Poo-Pourri, so your stool plays it cool.
It smells so good right now. You did it. You did it. Woo! Yes! Flush down.
All she'll be able to smell is a sexy blend of natural essential oils.
I love that commercial. I shaved my entire body for this.
My grandma's been dead for 4 years and she smells better than you.
Not on my worst day. It's my favorite. I love that commercial, man. So the marketing company that came up with that is just the best, man.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. They're hysterical. They also make the Squatty Potty. Do you know what that is?
I do. I know Squatty Potty from 2.5 Men. It's one of their episodes. It's like one of my favorite sitcoms ever.
2.5 Men, really?
Yeah, they had the Squatty Potty on that.
I
And
had
it was
no
also
idea.
on Shark Tank. I like Shark Tank.
I learn things about you every day. So, hey, well, two things. One, stand up. Thigh huggers. Go to thighhuggers.com. Enter the code about face and you will get 10% off. Also, go to Bearded Man Coffee. They sell coffee over the internet. Go to Bearded Man Coffee. Enter the code about face and you'll also get some money off. And they support us, so we love them. So you guys about ready to listen to what Allie has to say? She's on the phone. Look at her. She's trying to do other stuff while she's getting ready to come on the radio.
Hi.
Aloysius, how the heck are you?
I'm so good. How are you guys? I'm actually not on the phone. I'm actually doing a TikTok live. Woo.
Are you with us? We're on your TikTok?
Yes, you guys are on my TikTok. Well, it's me.
Gangster.
It's me. Yeah. So I got everybody going to From the Ashes Radio. You call the show 720-442-0910. If you have questions, you got about 30 seconds to call and get your question asked, and I'll answer.
Well, let's be honest. We just got that phone number yesterday.
Oh,
And if someone called that phone number, I don't know how I would answer it.
what do you mean? You click the answer the phone. You click the green phone.
That I have it here, but I'm not sure what would happen if someone called. I'd like to think that I could bring them on the air. We're gonna have to test this theory.
Who is your combo guy? We need
How many followers do you have on TikTok?
about 79. No, I wish a couple million. No, 79,000.
So just give Rob's personal cell phone
Don't
number.
do that.
It's all-
Okay, Rob's personal cell phone is no, because like if 5309. There's like, so in the veteran community, right? Like this is like the crappy part about being a good VSO. You help somebody who helps somebody and they tell you about, oh, you got to go see Allie. How do I get in contact? Oh, this is her number. Here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm having people from literally all over the country call me and like, oh, you helped my buddy and you helped Jason, you helped Tommy. And I'm like, who? And I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful, but a lot of the people that I help, I never even meet, right? It's phone conversation. It's over Zoom. Like I'll see you on face to face, but I had the pleasure of actually the first time I was ever recognized. I was in Nashville at like the Grand Ole Opry like mall or whatever they had. And it was on Father's Day and I'll never forget it. And this gentleman's walking by and I'm just scouting the area and he's got like 4 or 5 kids behind him. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of kids. And then this guy makes eye contact with me and I'm like, oh shit, did he hear me? And then he tells his kids, wait here. I will never forget him. He's like, wait here. And he like beelines it to me. So I get off the wall and I'm like ready to fight, right? Because I don't know who this guy is, right? I'm thinking, and he just heard me insult him. And he's like, are you on TikTok, ma'am? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yes. He's like, I follow you. And I'm like, holy shit. So, and then we had a great conversation. I ended up fixing his VA disability and he's compensated and he's just living his best life right now. So it was kind of like catches you off guard. But that's like my phone number is like all over the world. And I'm like, what are you going to do, I guess, right?
No, I'm down. I want him to call. I want absolutely. Go ahead. Hand my phone number.
Let's try. If one of you watching right now, I need you to call this number. Figure out how you're going to do it. 720-442-0910. That number again is 720-442-0910. Somebody call that number and get on the radio live with me. I want to see if Shenanigans here can. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Realize this could be an experiment, right?
Oh, I listen. I mean, I'm all for the unknown, right? You guys want to hear a joke today that I heard? It's pretty hilarious.
Like, you guys are so hot.
I mean, I'm digging the shorts he's wearing, so you know. I can't believe your wife lets you out of the house like that, dude. Your wife, like,
You should see that. I'll wear my date night ones next time. But I have some dressed up versions.
I you know what? I absolutely believe you. I absolutely believe you. So do you guys know? Do you guys know that the VA now has its own life insurance?
I did get that email. Huh.
Yeah. So starting
Is it
January 1st, so it's very competitive. It's got competitive rates. And I don't know what the top, like what the premiums are, but I know the premiums are competitive, and I just don't know how much the policy is. I want to say it's 10 grand, but all you need is a service connected disability. Like that's it. And they're competitive. So if you can't, because we all know, right? So like my ex-husband had multiple sclerosis. We could not get life insurance for him because like, oh, you could die from multiple sclerosis. Fact, you cannot die from multiple sclerosis. You die of the symptoms because of multiple sclerosis, right? So he couldn't ever get life insurance. So when the VA made that announcement, I called him up and said, hey, here's, not that you deserve it, but here you go. Get yourself life insurance because I'm not trying to bury you because you got no family. It's going to fall on me. So really it's more self-serving, but whatever. So so yeah, so you can get life insurance through the VA.
That's kind of awesome. Yeah. Well, and it's one of the things that you don't recognize when you retire from the military, that you lose that, what's it called? SGLI. You lose that.
Yeah, you do. Yep. If you stop paying your premiums once you get out of service, right, you lose that. And fun fact, I had a widow from a World War II veteran. And this story is all jacked up. It was actually, so she married her uncle. So yeah, you heard me right. So her husband was her uncle and he passes away.
What the hell's going on in Massachusetts, dude?
And it got so bad, I had to have police escort because she had threatened us. And listen, I don't scare easy. You guys know, like, I love to fight. I'm always ready for a fight. But she was emailing me at like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock. You lied to me. You said we were friends. I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, no, I didn't. Right? So anyway.
I got no friends.
So, I mean, it's kind of true. I have no friends. So anyway. So she was like, he had this life insurance policy and I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, from World War II. Like, what are the odds this policy is still in place, right? So I call and sure enough, it was still active. This guy had been paying his premium every month since World War II. I'm like, damn, awesome. Bitch. I know. I mean, she may not like a bandit. She's doing really well, but yeah. So there's that. It was a little green card too. It was weird. Yeah. So there's that. And then someone just asked on my TikTok, what is the best way to find a VSO? Literally Google it. And that's not me trying to be snarky, but literally Google it. Google whatever county you live in, right? So like Plymouth County VSO or whatever, Colorado Springs County Veteran Services. Your VSO is going to pop up. I can't guarantee that they're going to answer the phone or answer an email, but their name's going to be there. Can't guarantee that, but that's how you find a VSO. You just Google whatever county you live in, Veteran Services, okay? Or you can use the DAV, or you can use the VFW. Just don't use an attorney. Please do not use an attorney to file your first-time claim. Like, that's absolutely awful. And I just have a real distaste for lawyers. And now I'm getting all the time, like, can I fire my attorney? Well, what's your contract say? Is there a clause in there that says you can fire them, right? Normally it just takes, like, or not me, but somebody will take the power of attorney. But I've never had to take a POA from an attorney. I always take a POA from like another VSO, but POA is power of attorney. But I don't know. I just don't pay. Florida, just Google Florida Veteran Services, whatever county you're in. Yeah. At the point
that not all VSOs are the same.
Oh God, not all VSOs are created equal. No, that's a fact. I cannot guarantee that your VSO is going to be worth anything. I can't even guarantee they're going to answer the phone or answer your emails, but I mean, that's how you find a VSO, and everybody has a boss. Like I get, and it doesn't bother me, but it astounds me how veterans will come to me in droves. Like, my VSO isn't answering their phone. What can I do? Go to their boss. Go to their boss. Everybody has a boss. Go to the county commissioner. somewhere, right? The town manager, the freaking sheriff, somebody, right? Everybody has a boss. Find out who that boss is. Go to the director and file a complaint, and not just a verbal complaint. What are you whispering though over there?
Just that you look really good tonight.
You're so full of shit. You stink.
I whispered I don't have a boss, but I know better to say that out loud on the radio. All right.
You absolutely do have a boss. You absolutely. Yeah, you like woke up and chose violence today. Is she hearing? Is she watching the show? She can kick your ass when the cameras go off. Yeah.
Well, I whispered.
Why does it take so long to add dependents to a claim? Last question. The VA's backlogged. They're backlogged in every sense of the word. Like the PACT Act is great for us veterans. Yay, win, but it kind of screws us up because now we have to wait even longer because now they have to go back to every single presumptive you've ever claimed. It wasn't a presumptive then. It's a presumptive now. So please don't rush the Raiders. Like they have no or very little guidance. They are working mandatory overtime, like lots of hours mandatory overtime. So they are trying their best. It is not their fault. It's the VA's fault. It's the hierarchy. But just be patient.
I will say one thing now we brought up the PACT Act notice. So I actually went to the VA today. It took me a year to see my PCP appointment I've been waiting for. When I went in, as they were doing my vitals, they have like a checklist. Have you ever been subject to a fire pit? Have you ever been subject to Agent Orange, blah, blah? And they like right then and there put you in the system as whatever it is. So
yep, so that's standard now.
Sean Mayberry says, from being on the show and listening to Allie, my sister-in-law is coming home from Japan on a full Air Force retirement with 100% benefits. Thank you, Allie.
You are so welcome. I just got goosebumps. Like this is why I do these stupid TikToks and I do this radio show because I love getting messages like that. And there's nothing that I have said and do that you guys can't do yourselves. It's just this is my job and I know what I'm doing. But 100% is achievable, but also understand that not everybody warrants 100%. Not everybody gets it. Right? So, I mean, kind of be thankful you're not at 100% because that comes with a lot of pain. That comes with a lot of trauma. And compensation doesn't make the pain go away. You still have to wake up and figure out, like, shit, how am I going to get out of bed? Because, my back hurts, my knees hurt. So compensation, while it's nice and it does put food on the table, it does not take the pain away. So just something to consider before you guys go to that 100%.
We talk about it a lot. Allie, thanks a lot for being on the show tonight. I love that you're sharing us on TikTok now. I'm going to go back and watch it when I get out of here. What do you call it? Thank you for being a part of the show. And yeah, you're doing good stuff. Keep it up.
I know. Do you guys want to hear a joke before I go? Do you guys know the difference between toilet paper and wallpaper?
What's that?
Disgusting. Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, God,
I love when
awesome.
Allie says yep comes on the show.
I know. It's the best part of the show. Let's talk to lawyers now, because I'm sure you heard all that rant about lawyers.
Yeah.
So what's up, Mitch? How are you?
I shaved, so.
Oh my God. Dude, you look like you're 12.
Yeah. I had to get a permission slip from my mom to be here tonight, so.
Dude, how's that lawyer life?
It's pretty crazy right now with a lot of people calling about GRAP. GRAP, if you participated in GRAP and you suffered from that, don't hesitate to give us a call. Somebody asked, is it too late to call you about GRAP? And I said, no, it's never too late. We're in the thick of it, and we're hopefully about to be able to help a lot of people get some sort of compensation for all the wrong that was done to them. Yeah.
So I signed up for GRAP, but I never got any money from it or anything. Do I need to check? Should I be checking something?
Have you checked?
I don't know how to.
Have you checked? Yeah, you should. You should, if you were in GRAP, check your NCIC, National Crime Information Center database records. It's stored by the FBI, and there they keep arrest and criminal records of people. And there's a high likelihood that if you took money in GRAP, that you might be in this database. You might have been investigated by CID. Some people didn't even know they were ever investigated by CID. and they only found out that they got a letter 15 years later saying, "Hey, we untitled you," and they're like, "Well, I never knew I was titled." Other people, much graver consequences, careers lost, just horrible stuff. Affected a lot of civilian lives too. We are in the process of seeing how we're gonna bring some test claims for that to see if we can get some compensation for the adverse effects on the civilian side. And man, I am talking a lot about GRAP, and I didn't even really think I was going to talk about it tonight. But yeah, if you did participate in GRAP, it is highly worth it to check your NCIC record. You can just Google how to check my NCIC. If you go to CID's website, they have all these links on there about how to find out if you have any GRAP related records, and you can find out if you're in anybody's system anywhere. And at that point, you can find out how to get yourself out of those systems, and we can help you with that here at O'Connell West.
And I know O'Connell West is doing great things for people that are like caught up in this, and you guys are getting them money and fixing their lives and stuff like that. What is Department of Defense and Congress doing about this train wreck and abortion that they created?
Well, right now they have aided a few people in getting some compensation, and by compensation specifically in those cases, I mean retroactive promotion with back pay in a fairly quickly, and that was through kind of an expedited route that they had ABCMR take. ABCMR, Army Board of Correction of Military, Army Board of Correction of Military Records. Normally that process takes 2.5 years, but for these guys, they were able to resolve the issue within a month. Now, full disclosure, we don't know if it's going to be like that for everybody. Those were simple cases. A lot of people have a lot more complex cases with time in the reserve and the guard and active duty, and their retirement was affected in 1 or 2 or 3 of those, and it gets pretty crazy. Those claims will probably take a lot longer to process, and a lot longer for us to process as well, because we have to figure out, exactly what you were doing and when, and the effects that GRAP had on you. Other than that, they've admitted that they did something wrong. They waited a long time, right? So people are past a lot of statutes of limitations that would normally block civilian claims for these types of things. But we're, again, going to see if there's a way through that, because we think it's only fair that if you just now admitted liability to ruining people's lives, that should be the start of the timeline for you to bring a claim. And of course, we're going to try to convince the judge of that. The Army is going to write a 40-page essay about why that should not be the case, and we'll fight them. And I guess the Army won't write it. The Department of Justice will write it.
It's amazing to me that we're hearing all about the water on Camp Lejeune and 3M earplugs and all that stuff, but we're not hearing. I have not heard anything about this on any platform. If I wasn't friends with you and Doug, I would not know anything about this.
Yeah. We have reached out to staff of members of Congress to try to get their attention with this. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, it has not gathered as much attention as things like Camp Lejeune. On a surface level, it's probably not as sexy as like, oh, I've got hurt, I got cancer, help me. This is much more subtle. A lot of the effects were the same. I mean, I've talked to people that would swear that the stress of this caused cancer from dealing with GRAP. And
I believe it.
Yeah. And I think the consequences in a lot of cases are just as grave. I could get into a long theory about how personal injury lawyers have certain organizations that have a lot of influence on state and national governments, but that's a whole inside lawyer ball game. But I mean, the point is we are reaching out. People have responded, but we need more. We hopefully somebody out there would be willing to put into the next National Defense Authorization Act something about, or a separate statute, whatever, something about extending these statutes of limitations if a judge isn't going to sign off of it. That's what we really want, really need.
Well, Rich, I know there was a big war in the office today about who was going to be the one that gets to be on the show tonight. I'm so glad that you won that war. So thank you very much for being a part of From the Ashes tonight. And I really appreciate you taking part of your Monday night and being a part of the show. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, I will always win that war.
Rich, thanks for being a part of the show, man. Hey, keep up that good fight, man, because it's not getting the attention it deserves without you guys.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about other stuff, but you know what? I'll save it till next week because there's a lot we can help with and a lot we deal with.
You got 52 more opportunities.
Yeah, call us at O'Connell West. It's 512-547-7265, 512-547-7265. And I do have a screaming goat, just like Ali says nope, but it's at home and not here. So yeah.
You got to bring it into the office, man.
Okay.
Screaming goat wars.
We'll all scream our goats. All right.
Good to see you, Rich. Thanks for being part of the show.
All right. Bye.
See you, bud. All right. Let's see what EJ put together for us. And we'll be out of here pretty soon here. There it is. All right, folks. So here's the deal. It's very important to us that we remember those that came before us and the people that have given their lives for their nation. It's very, very important to us at About Face Radio. So we do a spot called Never Forgotten. These are the names that we want remembered. These are people that gave their lives for their country. If you have someone that you know or connected to you in some way that gave their life for their country, it doesn't have to be in the military. It can be a first responder, paramedic, police officer, firefighter, whatever. Send it our way, and we will make sure that their names are remembered, okay? Here we go.
This is an About Face Radio tribute to those who are laid to rest with honor.
When he comes home, she'll be right there to greet him and tell him that she loves him and hold him in her arms. Yeah, this life is too short not to count the things that matter most of all. She'll show him that she's proud of what he's done. He comes home.
About Face Radio proudly salutes U.S. Army Sergeant First Class Christopher A. Solis of Summerville, South Carolina. Sergeant Solis enlisted in the U.S. Army in September 2006 and was trained as a combat engineer. A veteran of 5 deployments, Solis was in the field on July 12, 2018. His unit, having completed its mission to clear the area of enemy fires in Paktia Province, Afghanistan, was attacked by Taliban fighters. This attack prevented Solis's unit from maneuvering for a counterattack. Realizing the danger the attack posed to his team in the operation, Sergeant Solis voluntarily exposed himself to intense enemy machine gun and small arms fire to retrieve and employ a heavy weapon system, thereby allowing U.S. and Afghan forces to regain the initiative, maneuver to a secure location, and begin treatment of a critically wounded Afghani. As a medical evacuation helicopter arrived, it was immediately engaged by enemy fire. Knowing how critical it was to quickly load the casualty, Solis willingly exposed himself to enemy fire to direct and lead the evacuation. As the casualty moved from a position of cover and out into intense enemy fire, Sergeant First Class Solis made a conscious effort to ensure his body acted as a physical shield to his team carrying the casualty and the crew of the aircraft. As the casualty was loaded and Solis's team returned to cover, he remained at the aircraft, returning a high volume of fire and constantly repositioning himself as a physical shield to the aircraft and its crew. With his final reposition, Sergeant First Class Solis placed himself directly between the cockpit and the enemy, ensuring the aircraft was able to depart. As the helicopter lifted off, Solis was hit by enemy fire. Fully aware of his own injury, but understanding the peril to the aircraft from intense enemy machine gun fire, he motioned to the aircraft to depart rather than remain behind to load him. His selfless actions saved the life of an Afghani soldier and almost prevented further casualties from among the members of his team and aircrew. Throughout the entire engagement, Sergeant First Class Solis significantly changed the course of the battle by repeatedly placing himself in extreme danger to protect himself, defeat the enemy, and ultimately cost him his life. Sergeant Solis died on that day in July 2018 on the battlefield, and because of his action, was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor on December 16, 2021 by President Biden. On behalf of About Face Radio and a Grateful Nation, thank you for your service.
We're done.
We are.
Called it a day.
Folks, thanks for signing in. Thanks for listening to our shenanigans, especially this one. Until next week, stay alert, stay alive.
And we'll see you on the mats.